How to make glove puppets.
To the puppet nerds of the world, this may sound absurd, but this is the place you need to be. We'll do an interview and then we'll stitch and glue all of the dolls, we'll make it shake. If you wanna be in the know and to play like a pro, subscribe to Puppet Nerd.
Welcome back, Puppet Nerds. Adam Krutinger here, and today we're going to learn how to make some simple glove puppets. Now, it's been a while since I've made any glove puppets. The first one I made was for a short film we did called White Rabbit. But recently I wanted to make something really simple for my daughter to use as well. If you click right here, you can see another build we did with a simple puppet, but I wanted to make something else that would be even easier. That being said, glove puppetry is not limited to kids. There are tons of amazing puppet artists who have been making beautiful glove puppets and doing amazing shows for years. And today we're going to learn a simple way on how to make your own. And if you go to puppetnerd.com, you can download the free pattern, or you can just follow along. Let's get started. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is trace out my hand. So I'm just going to put my fingers in the formation of how I want the puppet to be, and then I'm just going to kind of trace around it. Trace around my hand. Okay, so I want it to kind of be able to fit within this shape. Let me trace that in marker so you can see where my hand was. So that's what my hand looked like when I traced it, which that is not a very good puppet pattern. But let's draw around that so we get something that looks decent. Something like that should work out good. So now I'm going to fold it in half in the middle and cut it out so that it's symmetrical on both sides. And there we have a basic pattern. So if you want, you can follow along and make yours the same way, or you can download the free template down in the description. There's also a kid size there as well. Now we have this pattern, let's trace it out. Today I'm going to use a cheap craft fleece, but you could also use felt or fur, or really any material that you want. So what I'm going to do is fold it over on itself so that we have two layers there. And I'll line up my pattern just like this, and then I am going to trace it. And there we go. Now, right now, this kind of has a square head on top, and I kind of like that for the design that I'm going for. But you could easily round out this head more, make it a little bit wider if you want. Whatever you think is best for your character. Now that it's traced out, you have a couple choices for sewing. If you're going to sew this by hand, you would use the scissors and cut on the lines right all the way around the entire piece. And then you take your hand needle and just stitch all the way around just like this. But if you're sewing on a sewing machine, it's actually much faster to cut it out after you stitch it. So there it is, we just stitched through both layers like this, and now I'm going to cut all the way around. Just make sure not to sew the bottom shut on accident. So now I'm going to cut close to the edge, but not right on the edge. You don't want to accidentally cut your seam. Now that it's cut out, I like to turn it inside out too. And now here we have a blank little puppet here. Now talk about simple. This is about as simple as you can get. You can make details however you want with something as simple as a Sharpie marker, but you could also glue on some googly eyes, some fur, all types of different things to decorate your puppet. Now I'm going to show you a more advanced method in just a moment, but first let's do a little bit of decorations on this puppet for fun. All right, let's get some designs on this guy. And there we have it. This is very simple. That little bit of hair makes a lot of difference though. And you've just got a very simple little puppet that you can manipulate and do some fun little things with.
Oh, hello there. Oh, look at this thing that I found here. Ooh, this little ball here. It's squishy, and I can throw it pretty far, see? Sorry about that. Oh!
For the next version, the puppet's gonna have a bigger head and a little bit more details. Now, I actually did this once before years ago for a short film we made for the 48-hour film festival here in Buffalo. If you click right here, you can see the full video, but we had to make this little white rabbit right here. This is the same style of glove puppet, but you notice it has a much bigger head here. Now, there's probably a lot of different ways you could do this, but I'm gonna show you the method that I use. To get started, I pre-made this body here. It uses the exact same methods that we used before. And for the head, I have this scrap piece of cushion foam. And this is what I'm going to use to sculpt the head. Right now, this is a pretty big scrap, so I'm going to carve it down a little bit. I think we're going to design a little alien character. So let me kind of design a little head here. I'll make it ovalish like this, I think. I think that might be funny. And I'm going to start trimming it down. Now there we go. This is the shape that I came up with, this little oval shape. Of course, you could do any shape you want. It could be a square, triangle, circle, anything at all. Whatever fits best for your character. But coincidentally, you can see that this is about the same kind of shape that I did for the rabbit's head. It's an oval kind of going this way, though I flattened out the back a little bit. Now, to change it up, I think I want this to be like a little alien character. So I'm actually going to leave it wide like this on my puppet. Now the thing is, how are you going to attach this? The obvious solution is to cut a hole into it. But since this is soft foam, there's an even easier way. If this was L200, or if you were using styrofoam, you definitely want to cut a hole in there. But again, since it is soft foam, all I have to do is make a slit. You could use your scissors, but I'm going to use a razor blade just to make it a little bit easier. There it is. I like to go about 3/4 of the way up. So all that's really going to happen is I'm going to stick my fingers in it just like this and glue that on so I have a nice shaped head just like this. So let's get gluing. I would normally use contact cement for this, but hot glue will work just fine. And I'm going to stick it in just like that. So it's on like that, but you can see the glue still isn't dried. So I'm going to hold it down flat until it's completely dried up. There we go. This is all dry. Now what I'm going to do is start covering this with the fleece. Now you could use some fancy pattern making techniques, but for today, I'm just going to kind of wrap it around and use some hot glue. There it is. This is looking pretty good. Happy with that. Now let's add some details on this little puppet. And there we go. There's another little cute puppet. One thing that's really nice about this style of puppet is how you can turn the head. If you use 2 fingers inside the head, by just turning your fingers like this, you can get the head to turn and pivot within there, which is pretty cool. And there's more than one way to have your hand inside here. Traditionally, the original way was actually like this, with a single finger inside the head. A thumb is one hand and your middle finger as the other hand. And this is the way it was done for years. At some point, a lot of people started doing it like this. I personally like to have 2 fingers in the head and use my pinky and ring finger for this hand. I personally feel like I have more control this way, and especially with being able to pivot the head. Take me to your leader. He's that way? All right. So these are just two very simple designs, and there's no limit to what you can do. And if you make puppets like this, I'd love to see them. If you post any pictures, make sure to tag me on Instagram. Or if you click right here, you can actually use this video to learn how to make your own puppet movie. And the best thing about that is it's entirely made on a phone. The filming, the editing, and it even shows how to do some simple special effects. And if you want to learn even more about puppetry, make sure to check out puppetnerd.com. There we have the latest updates and tutorials on how to make your own puppets and your very own puppet show. And there's also a bunch of other free patterns that you can use to make even more advanced puppets too. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll see you next time.